Right, just thought we might film this, and perhaps as a warning to others. Anyone familiar with the Ulefone armour pad? They do a range of pads and phones. This is the 8-inch version, and I bought it last October for a friend of mine who happens to be in a wheelchair and needs something quite rugged, and this certainly fits the bill. It's heavy. We've managed to put a hanging loop so he can carry this around his neck on a lanyard, so it's already, it's always there, ready for access, in case of emergencies. This comes with a pre-installed screen protector, and it's a good job too, because it's been scratched. Now, the only thing that isn't built like a tank, unfortunately, is the USB port, which has now broken. The contacts have broken away from the PCB. That's my thoughts on that. Now, this came from Amazon. The seller on Amazon has not replied to any of my messages. Ulefone, who have a presence on Amazon, have replied, and they've told me to contact the seller, which is one of their dealers, but then to contact them again if the dealer hasn't replied, which they haven't. Pretty poor show. But Ulefone have sent me a YouTube video. It's unlisted, of just how to take this apart. I assumed, as it's waterproof, that it's going to be a question of heating up the screen and removing it, and then working from the top downwards. There are a couple of ports with some screws, like the on-off button and volume, and on the other side this expansion port has got a little Torx type screw in there. So I'm going to leave the screen protector on. If it melts, it melts. It doesn't really matter either way. It's scratched, it's coming off at some point. We have got a preheater which is set to 120 degrees. Quite important. 120 degrees is the correct figure. 5 minutes is the time to set it to, and Alexa, 5-minute timer.
5 minutes, starting now.
And then we're going to use these suction cups and a little spudger, see if we can release the screen. I assume it's on a very thin piece of tape or glue. Of course, the disassembly video shows it going back together again, but it doesn't show you how to seal the screen back up. They just put the screen back in, like, that's the end of the matter. It doesn't matter that this isn't going to be perhaps waterproof, but I do have some super glue tape that I could apply. We'll have a closer look once it's been disassembled. So 120 degrees, 5 minutes. If you can't prise it off, then they suggest another 5 minutes at 120 degrees. We have a range of very fine screwdrivers. We don't think anything out of the usual is required. They're all, I think, Phillips screwdrivers. We'll have to have a look. But I thought I'd just film this, and we'll see how it goes. I bought it, so if it all goes tits up, well, it can't carry on like it is anyway, with not being able to charge it. So yeah, pretty disappointing 8 months later. I mean, it really is tough and well made, the whole thing. But of course, the weakness is the USB port on most of these things. So we'll see. Preheater, I can't even remember what I bought it for. Probably something to do with the GHD repairs from years ago, but I don't use this for anything now. I've got a very small preheater that I use daily. That's that one there, poor old thing. But that's what I use on a daily basis. This was just a little bit too big, but when you need it for something like this, it's absolutely ideal. 8-inch pad, so it just happens to sit over this preheater. So yeah, hopefully we're going to get this off. 2:30 left. I'll probably edit this video just to shorten out certain stages. And of course it's unfortunately pretty warm in the workshop anyway. We're waiting for the storms. It's 30 degrees in here, which will probably help this whole process. Alright, back again. You just can't get in there. Oh, there we go. Jesus, it's hot. Oh, there we go. Oh, right, it's falling apart. So let's just turn that off for a minute. So let's remove that. Okay. So we've managed to get that off. I wasn't expecting the whole thing to fall apart though. Now I'm hoping that we can get to the USB port, which is sat in here, without dismantling everything else. I see various screws there. The USB port looks like it's in a bit of a state. I also see a tiny ribbon cable. Now, you know what? I reckon we've got to remove the whole bloody thing. Yeah, we have, haven't we? Bugger. We're going to have to take the screen out. Is that a lift off or push in? I think that's a lift off. There we go. So that's the screen away. There is some sort of tape all around the edge. Actually, it doesn't look like tape. It looks like it's a you know what, I don't know. I'm not really sure how that's been bonded in. I don't know whether you can see it or not. Let's put that to one side. Right, now it looks like we've got 1,000 screws. This metal plate, I'll show you the layout. Hopefully it's in focus. I've got my glasses off because I'm working close up, but the USB port is in there. But unfortunately that circuit board goes underneath this metal plate, so we are going to literally have to take out everything, which is a shame. Still, if we can save it, that would be great. So let's get those screws out, and we will undo all of these. Hopefully they will all be the same. So I'm going to turn my fan back up and around on me. Right, here we go. All the same size so far. Should be nice, well thought out if they are all the same size. Now, the Ulefone themselves in China, I'd been emailing them initially through Amazon because they do have their own store. As soon as I told them I was a electronics engineer and was quite capable of repairing this myself, but just wanted confirmation of the screen removal technique, they kindly sent me an unlisted link to a YouTube video which shows you the dismantling procedure, and they also offered to send any parts that may be required. So whilst they're dealer in the UK, and they do have a UK address, whilst they were useless, Ulefone were not. So I mean, I can't. Looks like we've got a security marked screw just there. Little sticker on it. I suspect it's probably the same size again. It is. Now, is that all of them? A bit of tape there. I'll just remove that tape. Just a bit of shielding tape. And here, just a bit more shielding tape. Oh, one screw there, missed. It's call it shielding tape, I mean earthing tape, or anti-static tape, whatever you want to call it. As you know, this is not what I repair normally, but I've got absolutely nothing to lose by looking at this. Now that's popped out of there. There's a little socket just there, and that's pulled straight out. So underneath we have a main board, SIM card slot, antenna. It's just directly soldered there. Okay, so the bit we're, glasses off time again, the bit we're interested in is here. And there are screws at the end which were hidden, so important to get them. Again, they are the same size as the other screws that were holding this in place, but you couldn't see these because they were under the silver metal screen. So that is, we're going to have to gently pry. There's 3 ribbon cables going to this. We're going to have to gently pry out this one. Oh, it's got a little lever on it, and then that should just slide out. God, bloody rubbish plastic tools. Damage from previous thing. There we go. That's come out of there. If we lift this out now, there we go. Oh Jesus, that has got epoxy or something on it. No, this is going to be a pain. Right, these will pop up. There we go, and there is a little, don't know whether that is that Bluetooth antenna. No, I'm not sure. So I need to get my glasses on so I can see whether this is focusing or not for you. So the problem is with that USB, come on, USB board, but you see that sort of red, I'm going to have to look at it under the microscope. There is a sort of red material there. Some of those pins are probably broken underneath that, so this could be a bit of a problem. We're going to have to have a look under the microscope and see if there's anything we can do, or whether they will supply us with this new board.